All right, so today we're going to be talking about the SBA reflection overview. So we're going to just dive into an overview of the SBA reflection. We're not going to dive into the different entries. Those will be separate videos unto themselves. So today we're just looking at what is the SBA English A and B SBA reflection, what are the different components. That's it. Once again, let me apologize for my voice, and I'm recovering from COVID, and so I'm very nasal. So my apologies for that. Let us begin. So the first thing I want us to kind of think about is, what is a reflection? You're being asked to write the reflection, and for me, anytime I have to do anything, the first thing I want to know is, what is it? What am I doing? What is the end result? Why am I doing this? Hopefully your brain is similar. So a reflection, simply put, is you're thinking about experiences. You are thinking about things, or you're I don't want to use the word reflecting, but you would have come in contact with materials in this case, or you would have experienced something, and you're analyzing, you're processing, you're, for want of a better word, looking back at what you would have encountered, so that you can learn from it, right? And so it is important to know that in general, reflecting is a form of analysis. You are looking at the different pieces of information and experiences, or anything that would have happened, and you're looking at it, you're analyzing it, you're pulling knowledge from it, and you are forming your own thinking. It is shaping your view, your worldview, the way you think about the topic, and it is influencing, maybe changing your knowledge. So you might have thoughts about the topic in one way, and now that you have this new information, your knowledge would have changed, or it is reaffirming the knowledge that you would have already have. Or simply put, you are now experiencing something totally out of your scheme of experiences, and now you are transformed. Hopefully you're transformed. So this is a process, or it is hope, that by doing the SBA process, by interacting with your stimuli, you would have had some kind of transformation in your way of looking at things, or you would have developed some kind of analytical perspective, or you would have reaffirmed what you already know. It will have confirmed and strengthened your view on things, right? So simply put, right? Now, in looking at the structure of the reflection, we know, or if you don't know, now you know, that the reflection is based on your three pieces, your SBA stimuli, and that is our next lesson, I promise. So your reflection is based on your three pieces of data, your stimuli. Some persons might call it artifacts. Those are the pieces that you would have found based on your topic, right? And based on those pieces, based on your analysis of those pieces, you are now going to write 3 entries. Now, you can think of the entries as journal entries. Like, you have a diary. Well, I don't know if young people have journals these days, but you have a diary, and every time you go to write on a particular topic, that would be considered an entry. So you have 3 entries, and these entries are based on different aspects of the reflection, right? So each entry is based on a different aspect, is a different type of reflection. Good. Now, entries 1 and 2, you are expected to write about all 3 of your stimuli, your SBA pieces. So you are reflecting using the 3 pieces that you would have found in entries 1 and 2. Good. Now, entry 3 is somewhat different. And entry 3 comes at the end of the SBA process. Entry 3 is the last thing you're going to write about. So, overall, the entire reflection, no more than 450 words. So, if you're going to divide those 450 words by 3, you will realize that per entry, you can allocate 150 words per entry, right? You can allocate 150 per entry, or, for example, in your writing, you might have had 160 words in entry 1, and you're like, okay, I have 160 words. For your entry 2, you might have had 150 words. So it therefore means that for entry 3, you cannot write no more than 140 words, because that would be the remaining words you have out of your 450 words. Hopefully my math is correct on that. I'm not a mathematician by nature, but you get what I'm saying. So you decide how you allocate your 450 words. I would say aim for 150 words per entry. If you go over that, that's as much as possible to have enough words per entry that you're able to information that needs to be presented per entry. Something else that I have in my mind. What was I about to say? When I remember, I'll tell you. All right. So let's move on. Now, in looking at the overview, we need to look at the structure of the reflection. Now, we would have stated that the reflection, you have 3 entries, and we would have just spoken about the recommended allocation for your 450 words. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. The question you're going to ask me is, Miss, but what if I have below 450 words? Once again, it's not a problem to have less than 450 words. The problem is you should not go over the 450. Okay, so the recording broke. All right, so let me pick up. So I was talking about entry 1, and I was saying that for entry 1, for me, I think so entry 1, you are basically diving into what exactly these 3 pieces, how they would have impacted you, what they remind you of, and looking at all 3 pieces. So that is entry 1. This is the entry that students struggle with. This is the entry that takes, to me, in my opinion, the most time. It's the most challenging, but you will survive. So for entry 2, you're talking about the language in each of the 3 pieces, and you are looking at how the language use impacts your understanding of your individual topic, right? So it therefore means that, sorry about that, guys, got a call. All right, so I was saying that when you're looking at entry 3, it therefore means that you need to look at your your stimuli, each of your stimulus, and you are going to identify the type of language, the type of writing, and how basically the language use, how it frames your understanding of your topic. It is very important to do a comparative analysis of how the language in one stimulus might impact you, whereas how the language in another might not, and how all 3 stimuli help in your understanding of your individual topic, right? And finally, I love entry 3. Entry 3 is, to me, the easiest entry in this entire process, and to me is also the most traditionally reflective entry, because it's like you're writing to say how you would have grown throughout the SBA process. And because you're looking at the SBA process as a whole, entry 3 is done at the end of the SBA process. Now, I would recommend that you follow the syllabus and get it done. I have the end of the term because I was using this presentation for my class, and so for them, their SBA process will be at the end of the term. But whenever I should say, your SBA process ends, this should be the last thing that you do. And I would say what would help is to have an SBA book in which you have your little notations, because sometimes what I've found is that because the SBA process is so long in some cases, but at the end of the process, some students forget what they would have experienced over the 2 years, right? And so if you have a journal and keep notations, keeping note of your thoughts, your feelings, so that when it comes to writing entry 3, some students are like, Miss, I didn't learn anything. That's impossible. Miss, I would not have grown. It's not that you would not have learned or you would not have grown from the process, is that you have not internalized your experiences. You have not critically analyzed to see how well your thinking would have changed, or your views, or even how much what you would have done from the process would have really cemented your thoughts and your feelings and your worldview based on your topic. So that is it for the structure of the reflection. We're going to talk about these SBA stimuli next. I know it's weird to talk about it at this point, but we're going to talk about it. And then we're going to jump after that and look at entry 1 of the reflection, entry 2, and then I might cover entry 3 and then come back. might cover entry 3 or continue looking at the other components and look at entry 3 last. So just letting you know. Also, please bear in mind, share this video with someone. Please ask them to subscribe. When we get to 11,000 subscribers, you will vote on the next topic that you want us to cover. So please help us to get to 11,000. Have a good day, everybody, and I will see you in the next video.